Yes, it's sponsored by Squarespace.
I don't know how to say it, really. I mean, I think I just reached the end, you know. Just done enough. I think I've done everything I need to do, you know. I'm done, you know. I finished the miniature town of Respite. Oh, did you think I meant the channel? No, I got ready. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 86. I do apologise for the clickbait thumbnail. I don't really. Everyone else does it, you know. Why can't I do it? You know, you're going to get a soy face next. I was considering putting a picture of my face with those big, giant, like, globby tears coming down, like, that are ridiculously too big and they look spermy. I didn't do it. So I finished making the town of Respite. If you don't know what Respite is, well, it's basically my made-up town that I've made in scale miniature format. Now, I've been meaning to show you the town for the last couple of videos, but it was just a few little things that I needed to do first. I don't know about you, because I'm a bit obsessive. Let me try and explain. So every building in town has a character kind of assigned to the building. That character lives in that building. I don't know why I did it like that. I felt like every building needed an occupant. And so we got the Big Wing Trades building, which is owned by Tinker Tess. We've got the King's End Inn, owned by Landy Buster Dell. We have the post office that has the postman Jack Nam. And we even have the Rolling Rocker, which is like the town's tank, which is owned by Mr. Mayor, who's also the mayor of the town. Now, I have built a few buildings since then. I've built the Bot Shop and I've built the Goodle Shack. And I've talked about the characters that own these buildings, but I haven't made them yet. So that's what we're going to do today. I need to kit bash a few characters, one for the Goodle Shack and one for the Bot Shop. And, you know, I've already told stories about these characters, so it'd be nice to bring them to life. And I'm just slightly obsessive. Yeah, a little bit obsessive. And then once that's done, I can show you the whole town, you know, and then move on and make something else next week. So stick around and try and enjoy it, will you? Just tell your face. So, remember the last kit bashing video I did? There was bits and pieces everywhere. I had one big box full of all of my kit bashing parts. I've actually spent a few weeks and sorted them out. So these are all the bodies in one box. I've got the heads in another, the arms in another. You know, basically I sorted them out, so it's much more pleasurable. Let's pick a body to use. Now, Captain Sheron is going to be a woman. I want to make a female captain. So what I'm going for is essentially like a space pirate, a futuristic pirate on a post-apocalyptic world, that kind of thing. So we need a long jacket. That one at the end hasn't got a long jacket, but I do like the head. And the jacket's one here could probably work. It looks kind of like a futuristic captain of like a starship or something. I think that's the one I'm going to use. We could just pirate it up a little bit later. So when I said I sorted them out, I really did. These are all the heads in one section. There's another head section there. I think the other section's like shields. I got like a whole tub full of... Basically, it's all sorted. It's all nice. Now, I like this head. It looks a bit like a grandmother's head. And I want Captain Sheron to be kind of old and distinguished. Now, when kit bashing, you want a really sharp blade, and I've got this this kind of scalpel craft knife. It's probably the best knife I have. So always replace your blade, get a new fresh blade, and then mess it up, just like that. I mean, I pretty much messed it up already, but I got the head off, so that's all that counts, said the serial killer. Now, connecting heads is always kind of a little bit tricky. You don't really want a big gap there. There's always a big line. I'm going to use a tiny bit of green stuff, which is probably already too much for what I need. I mean, I thought I'd cut off a tiny piece, but I mean, that's all I need, basically. It's just a way to squish the head on, and kind of, we can pretend it's like a little neckerchief or something. We can just sculpt that there, look. She's getting on. She feels the cold. You know, she needs a little tiny scarf. This is my box of just random accessories and quite a lot of shields by the look of it. I seem to have lots of shields, but I need some hats. We need a hat. If she's a space pirate captain thing, she needs a hat. And I've found these hats. I'm not sure which one I'm going to go for. I don't actually have any pirate hats. So come out here, come on, Sheron, let's have a little fashion show, shall we? Try this one on. How's this? That looks silly. Don't wear that one. Maybe that one? It looks a bit like a bit big. I'm not really too Yeah, it's the same one. Maybe we just tried that one. Maybe I like that one. That's nice. Yeah. Let's just cut the top of your head off and stick that on. That looks nice. You don't need the top of your head. Sorry, I thought I was actually talking to someone then. This seems to be the arms and the legs. We're gonna. Oh, look at that! I like that. Quite like that. We're gonna use that, I think. And we need another arm, and we might not need the briefcase. We can get rid of the briefcase. This is my weapon box. So, seeing as Sheron is a pirate, we need a sword, and I think what better sword than a katana, because they are the best swords, or the coolest swords in the world. And I want a little muzzle thing at the end of this gun, so yeah, I'm gonna take it. I really like that pistol, but I really am into those big muzzle things, you know, with the holes in them, that thing there, you know, I think they look really cool, especially on a pistol, because that must be like a powerful pistol if it's got one of those things on it, or it just looks a bit silly. Either way, it looks cool to me, I quite like it, and you know, I can do whatever I like. So can you, obviously. So this video is sponsored by Squarespace. Now Squarespace is a website where you go to make websites. Now if you have no idea how to make a website, you don't know how to do with a HTML, is it HTML? I'm not sure. And you just want to make a website about things like, you know, like a pickle website, for example. Like, yeah, like that, like pickle perfection, that's it, Bill. Click there. If you just want to make a website that's quick and easy and clean and nicely designed, then go to Squarespace. I made this website in like, you know, it must have been like 0.5 seconds. Maybe a little bit longer, I'm not sure, but it was really easy and it looks pretty good, and I will add stuff to it at some point. But yeah, if you want to make your own website, there's a sale going on at Squarespace. There's a little link down below. Go and have a look. So before I go into too many little details on Captain Sheron, I'm going to start building Handler Hank, who is the owner of the bot shop, and I kind of want lots of robot pieces with him. I want him to be mainly robot. I mean, he's got to be, right, hasn't he? So for Handler Hank, I think the only part of him that's still human is going to be, well, obviously, his head, his torso, maybe like one arm. He's going to be a little bit like Jack Nam, if you remember him, who owns the post office. You know, mostly robotic. I think Handler Hank probably wants to be more robot than man. You know, he's got a big affinity with robots. He does love robots. Now, someone sent me this liquid green stuff. I would never buy this stuff, and I don't think it's supposed to be that clumpy. Maybe I need to add a little bit of water to it, but I just want to fill that little gap there under his tummy. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, how does he go to the toilet? Well, I'll explain that later in Bill's story time. So I found 3 heads that I kind of like. I'm not really sure which one I'm going to use. So just shout at the screen as loud as you can when you see one that you like. I mean, that guy with the sunglasses, he looks pretty cool. Looks a bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger though. Or the guy with the big scar. Oh, yep, guy with the big scar it is. Thank you. Thanks for taking part, everyone. Cheers. So there is the main body done for Handler Hank. I love it when the main body's done, because then you could just start adding things and make it more interesting. Now I'm thinking a big robotic arm on the back of his shoulder there, kind of like Mr. Mayor, but this won't have a gun on it. It'll have like a little hand that he can use to get things off of high shelves, because you know, he's disabled. He's slightly disabled. Now I don't like the legs matching. I might switch one out for one of these legs, just to you know, he's made out of all sorts of different bot parts and all sorts of different bots, and always use a little knee pad to hide your mistakes there. Now we need more robotic parts, so I think that arm's going to have to be robotic, and this spear is just a little bit puny, and it's not actually going to be a spear. I think maybe like a walking stick, because he's, you know, he's not calibrated too well. He sort of hobbles about. Now bases, obviously we need to stick bases on these people. So there's a base, and here I am sticking it to a base. I'm just going to stop the narration for a little bit. So back to Sheron, Captain Sheron, I don't know. We need a little epaulette thing on there, I think. I do like an epaulette, and just other random pieces, bullets, maybe a little extra shoulder pad, a little satchel, a nice satchel to keep her booty in. So being a pirate, I imagine she likes to collect things, cool things. You know, this sword was probably won in a battle on the seas. You know, she likes to, I mean, bullets are just, you know, you need bullets. They're just there because they're practical. But I think little feathers. I think she might have a few feathers in her hat, maybe a few little things hanging off of her belt. I mean, if I was a pirate, I'd go around and just collect the coolest things and just stick on my pirate outfit. That's what I would do. And I'm pretty sure that rucksack is upside down, but it doesn't matter because it's sci-fi. And to finish her off, I think maybe a little rope or a whip. It could be a whip. I like to think of it as a rope, but if you think of it as a whip, that's probably says more about you. There we go, Captain Sheron. So back to Handler Hank. Now we need to cut that little blade off and stick a little grabby arm, a little grabby hand on there that you can use to help grab things. Because he's not a war machine. He's a machine building machine man thing. Now we need some cables and wires. Obviously, I need lots of wires hanging off this guy. Now, it sounds disgusting, but I need a portable toilet, otherwise known as a nappy, but a robotic nappy, a futuristic nappy, just like that. Yeah, he needs some way of processing his waste material, and I imagine that thing kind of does it. So weapon-wise, I imagine Hank isn't really much of a fighter. You know, he likes to fix things, not destroy things. But I've given him this gun that looks a bit like a bolt gun. You know, I imagine like in a panic, he might grab his closest weapon, which would be this little rivet gun thing that he would use to shoot people. And his stick is just going to have a load of little accessories on it. You know, like a little lamp up there, little hooks to hook things off of really high shelves. Practical things. He's a practical guy. Edit, I just said bolt gun, which is actually a Games Workshop thing. I didn't actually mean to say that. I meant to say rivet gun. I do apologise for all you GW nerds out there. Nerds! This is usually the part of the episode where I tell you to subscribe and join Patron. But today we're going to talk about the Patron challenge. I set my patrons. I've said Patron quite a few times. Basically, on Discord, I have a special challenge section for Patron members. And, I give them a challenge and they have like a month to complete it. Recently, I did a painting episode where I just did some illustrations and drawings, and I challenged all my patrons to do it. And I didn't think anyone would actually do it, but apparently everyone really wanted to do some drawing. So here they are. They're quite impressive, actually. I mean, maybe it's just either I'm really bad at drawing or it's just a really good technique. It could be both. Anyway, here they are. Pretty good. I mean, come on, they're pretty good. But if you'd like to take part in the next challenge, there's a link down below to join Patreon. It's just a couple of quid a month. It keeps the channel going, and you get to provide me with extra content for my videos. You know, just stretch out that running time a little bit. Thanks. So I primed these two guys with black and grey from above. Now I probably should have sprayed them completely black, but then you wouldn't see it on camera because I'm always thinking of you. Let's paint this stuff up. I've got this Pro Acryl paint set that I want to try out. Apparently they're really good. Let's give it a go. But you don't care about that. I don't care about that. Painting time with Bill is boring time with Bill, and boring time with Bill is story time with Bill. In case you don't know, this part of the video is where I usually tell a little story about the thing I've created, the miniature I've made, or the building I've built, or a monster I've made. You know, I like to tell little stories. I like there to be backstories, and they all revolve around a world called the Gutterlands. Just in case you didn't know. Just in case. Just in case. So everyone on the Gutterlands, mainly Respite, they don't know each other's history, they don't know each other's past. It's kind of like a frontier town. People come there, they start new lives. But Captain Sheron, she was a captain. She was a captain of a ship, and she flew all over the galaxy. Now, it wasn't quite as exciting as what she does now. She used to work on pleasure tours around certain systems. You know, she'd take people on a little tour, like a big cruise ship kind of thing. And she found it really boring. She didn't like it. She kind of got a bit sick. She wanted adventure, basically. So one day on one of her cruises, she heard about the Gutterlands, and she thought, you know, that's a place where I can go and I can actually sail. I can get a ship and sail a sea and explore. You know, have real adventures. You know, the Gutterlands is kind of unexplored. There's lots of continents that people have never been to. She thought, I'm going to go there. I'm going to get a ship, and I'm going to become a real captain of a ship. So that's exactly what she did. She went to Respite, she moved there, she worked a little bit, she got to know everyone, and she built herself a ship, a seafaring ship, made out of scrap metal, scrap wood, any old scrap she could find. She asked Mr. Mayor to help carry it to the seaside, basically, using the rolling rocker, the giant tank, and she created a tiny little port town called Sheron Port, which, you know, a few people live at. It's a very tiny little village. So when she was all done and prepared, she set off on a voyage. She was trying to find new continents. She was heading towards the Blank Lands, which is south of Respite, which is like a completely unexplored continent. But she ran into a giant sea monster, a giant jellyfish called the Tiamat. The Tiamat is about the size of like 5 football fields, with tentacles that go on even further, like tens of miles in every direction, hundreds of miles. These tentacles kind of spread over the whole sea and kind of catch any fish that kind of swim into its grasp, and it eats everything. So that destroyed her ship. She lost her ship, and she created the Goodle's Noodle Shack in the middle of Respite. She still goes off sailing on voyages once in a while. She does like to fight the deep troops in the sea, but you know, her main business, her main income is the Goodle Shop. Now, if you want to know about the Goodle Shop, you'll have to go back a few episodes and listen to the story time in that episode, the Goodle Shack. Or you can go to thegutterlands.com, which is my Wikipedia for the Gutterlands, like a Gutterpedia, where you can find the Goodle Shack and find the video from there. I need to update that site, and I will do as soon as I've done this video. You can often find Captain Sheron in the centre of Respite, trying to recruit new sea members, you know, seamen and crew members, to go off on voyages, to go and explore. She's one of the main reasons there's a map at all of the Gutterlands. That's how far she's gone so far. She plans to go further, but she does spend a lot of her time fighting deep troops, a lot of her time attacking rusters. She's a little bit of a psychopath, I'm going to be honest. She has a very powerful gun and a very sharp sword, and she likes to use them. There are rumours in town that her and Mr. Mayor have a thing. I don't think it's a thing. I think Mr. Mayor wishes it was a thing. Maybe it's the epaulet. He likes the epaulet. I mean, he's a fan of epaulets himself. But, you know, it's the reason why he helped get a ship out to Sheron Port in the first place, because I think he has a thing for her. I guess there's not a lot of choice in Respite. But there you go, that is the story of Captain Sheron. Obviously there's lots more to do with her Goodle Shack if you want to go back and watch that. But there we go, Captain Sheron. Karen. So Handler Hank. Handler Hank owns the bot shop in the middle of Respite, and he's basically the town's engineer, the mechanic. He's the bloke that fixes everything. If it wasn't for him, there probably wouldn't be electricity. You know, he's the guy that can figure out machines. He has an affinity with robots and beadbots and any robots really. He likes to go off into the rusty peaks and find robot parts and put new robots together. You know, he loves robots. Now, there is a reason for this. His history is also a mystery, like everyone else in Respite. But he was found in a spaceship wreckage out in the middle of the desert, but not by a human. One day, a ship crashed in the middle of the blast lands, and there was no one around for miles apart from a beadbot. A beadbot came along, found the ship. Everyone was dead apart from Hank. Now, Hank was almost dead. He was literally a torso and an arm and a head with a giant gash down the middle. He was on death's door, basically, but this beadbot, you know, saw it in his robotic heart to carry him back to Respite. Now, medical technology is pretty advanced in the galaxy, but you know, they have minor variations of it in Respite, so they could cure him, but you know, he couldn't move, couldn't do anything. So he decided to make himself some robotic legs, robotic arm, and make himself complete again. Now, he lost all of his major organs down there, so he needs to basically wee and poop inside this processor thing on his back. That's the only way he can it kind of extracts the waste products from him. Not that you wanted to know that. That's but I thought I should tell you anyway. Now, there's this whole drama in town about the giant robotic titan's arm on the side of his bot shop, and everyone, raves about, that robot's going to come back one day, try and claim his arm back. And Handler Hank is quite a stubborn guy. He won't give it back. Or maybe he wants that robot to come. He's pretty obsessed with beadbots and robots and AI, and I think he kind of wants that robot to come back to town just to see it. Now, beadbots don't get treated very well in Respite, and Handler Hank hates that. He hates it when he sees people be abusive to robots. He sees robots as people. Obviously a robot saved his life, and he keeps lots of beadbots on site. They help him around the bot shop, and he would repair a beadbot before your boiler, or your power box, or if there's a beadbot in need, he will be there and he will basically fix them. Now, he spends a lot of time at the Bangarang tournaments. He's always just off field there fixing damaged beadbots and robots and junk bots and things like that. He would basically prioritize robots over humans because I think he thinks he's a robot. Now, the whole town of Respite kind of love him and hate him at the same time. They want that robot arm gone. They know that Titan may come one day and try and destroy the town. Hank obviously wants that robot to come, but they need him. There's no way the town would run. There would be no electricity. There'd be no hot water. There'd be no water if he wasn't there to fix the machines, the pumps and things like that. So they kind of have a love-hate relationship with Hank. I think Hank's just a pretty decent guy. Now, every video I get a comment, how do you make crusted? How do you make crusted? How do you make... Well, this is how you make crusted, right? So that's how you make crusted. Now I just need to do these bases, and I think we're just about done. Yeah, we're done. So there we go. There's Handler Hank and Captain Sheron. I need to learn how to pronounce that properly. Really happy with these characters. I think they look really good. Let me know what you think. Let me know which one you like best. So that's it for the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Glamour shots coming up in a minute of these two little fellas, and a big sort of cinematic glamour shot of the town of Respite, which, I may go back to in the future. I might feel the urge to make some more buildings, which, I pretty much guarantee it. I'm probably going to make some more buildings for it. But for now, I'm going to be moving on and doing other stuff, just for a little bit, all related to the Gutterland, so don't worry. It's all canon. But next episode, I think I'm going to be outside, out and about, doing something, because this is just too hot. It's midsummer here, and and I'll wear this silly outfit, which doesn't help. But that's it. See you next time. Bye. Bye. So there we go, Captain Sheron. I've made all of the characters I need to make for the town now. I think I have a group of 6, which is the ideal number for my future game coming up. And Handler Hank, pretty nice guy. I like Handler Hank. What do you think? Let me know, comments down below. Now, the bit that you'll probably be waiting for, let's go to Respite and I'll show you how the town looks with some dramatic shots. And all that's left to do is to thank the patrons. The patrons are the ones that give me money every month and keep this channel going. Just a little bit of money here and there, and you get to watch these videos. Is it a good thing? Bad thing? Oh, hopefully it's a good thing.